ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਮੂਕ ਉਚਰੈ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਖਟ, ਪਿੰਗ ਗਿਰਨ ਚੜ ਜਾਏ। ਅੰਧ ਲਖੈ ਬਦਰੋ ਸੁਨੈ, ਜੋ ਕਾਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਾਏ। ਮੂਕ ਉਚਰੈ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਖਟ, ਪਿੰਗ ਗਿਰਨ ਚੜ ਜਾਏ। ਅੰਧ ਲਖੈ ਬਦਰੋ ਸੁਨੈ, ਜੋ ਕਾਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਾਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Today we're going to cover Salok 48 to 65. In Salok 48, Maharaj ji explained about Jeev here. So they say, like, stating like that, how like Ishwar has Satogun more. Similarly, a Jeev is that who has Rajo and Tamogun more. So Sikh here humbly asked the Guru to explain how the three qualities of Sato, Rajo, and Tamo came into the form of Maya. So Sikh says, thus Benti to Maharaj, that your Gyan is like ocean. It is really deep, and there is actually no end to the wisdom. But still, please do Kirpa and explain these three qualities. So Maharaj explains that when one gets Gyan of Sat and Asat Vastu. So Sat Vastu is Atma, which is permanent, that way which does not have any change in it. And Asat is, which is in untrue or temporary, is that which remains still, that which cannot move on its own. When one gets wisdom that they are not the body, but Atma, and the whole world is Atma itself. And when this Brahmagyan becomes virid, firm in one's intellect, this is known as a gun, Satogun. So this is what wise people say, that this Prakash of Gyan, the light, wisdom's light, or the wisdom itself, is Satogun. Those who have even a little bit of desire in them to do something, they come under Rajogun, and anything that is happening in the world, such as exchange of ideas, things, opinions, etc., this is happening due to Rajogun. Tamogun is when there is laziness in the body. So when we go to sleep, or whenever there is anxiety or restlessness, and most of the distress and other illnesses, such as anxiety, depression, that occurs because of Tamogun. So Maharaj says here, Akal Purukh's roop of Sat Chit Anand is Akhand. Khand means that which cannot be broken by anything. So it's unbreakable. Akal Purukh created himself into many forms to create this Khed. So in order to play this game, he created Tamogun in Jeev to forget his own Sarup, his own form. The Jeev is itself Akal Purukh, but he made him forget it. The ignorance is due to the Tamogun. So when we read Gurbani, we slowly go into Rajogun. Then with Maharaj Kirpa, we start to reside in Sato mode. And when we become the observer of these three qualities, then we reside in the Chautha Pad. So that is called, by different words, different terms, Turiya in Punjabi, or the fourth stage, or as the observer. It is when we stay as the observer of what is happening in the world in the form of these three qualities. Because the world is always working in Sato, Rajo, Tamo. But when we become the observer of this, that is when one is called as the observer. Now, how can we understand this game? So here it's explained through an analogy. So when there is a drama going on the stage, just like how a director, he gives the actor a clear instruction. So they say, like, one actor has to act certain way and the another in that as per the role. And if that actor does not play as per the role, then there's not going to be any drama that's going to happen because he's not playing his character. But if he acts according to his role, then the drama will be a success. In the same way, Akal Purakh took different forms of different characters in the world. And he's playing this game. Now, who are these characters? It's no one else other than same. Some are called Harcharan Singh, Ravi Harjot Singh, Harvinder. These are all the characters being played by the same Akal Purakh. So we are all those characters. But because of Tamagun, we have forgotten our true self. Even Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj says, Dekhan ayo jagat tamasha. He's saying that I'm in the Turiya Pad and he's the observer only. So Akal Purakh created Maya as per whatever role he wanted to play. The Karande, which is the causal body, the cause of the body, is ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing the true self. The lack of wisdom is ignorance. When we come into this body, the ego, in Punjabi we call it ahankar, it ultimately comes with it. So the only reason to actually enter the body is through ahankar, through that separate identity. The root of the subtle body is the causal body, and the causal body is avidya, lack of wisdom. And what is this lack of wisdom? It is ahankar, that I am this body and not Atma. All this is happening because of lack of wisdom. So ahankar has two forms. There are two types of ahankar as well. One is a shuddh ahankar. In English, we can say like impure, not the awareness of its true self. That ahankar, which means considering yourself as the body, and the opposite is the shuddh, the pure ahankar, the pure ego itself, which is the Atma. So when in Atma Avastha, then one resides in this peace, which is known as Anand, and one becomes Satchit Ananda Sarup. So Maya has three types of powers, which are impurities of the mind. Second, that which causes disturbance in the mind. And how is the mind disturbed? By the inner thoughts or the outer environment. Mind is always disturbed because of these two things. And third is the ignorance. And as we discussed, ignorance is that I'm this body and somehow I got to protect this. So in order to have this realization that I am Atma, I'm the observer, the pure consciousness, and not this body, first of all, we need to clear the impurities of the mind. Because we somehow think the mind thinks as a sinner, itself as a sinner. But in Gurbani, Maharaj says, Man tu jot sarup hai, apna mool pashan. Maharaj says, you are the same consciousness. Recognize that. You're not the sinner. So mind obviously can't be both things. Either it is a sinner or it is the Jot Sarup. So when we practice Gurbani, then with Maharaj's Kirpa, we become Gurbani Roop. And then the impurities of the mind are removed. The disturbance of mind can be removed by applying Gurbani as well. So that is Gurbani. That's why we are blessed with Gurbani. The same thoughts, they become they become Satoguni, and then one becomes the observer. They are the same thoughts, but they somehow transfer into the Satogun as we practice Gurbani. So then one becomes the observer of whatever is happening, even at the thought level and outside. They don't get attached to whatever is happening there. then one starts to accept that the Jyot, one starts to fully accept that actually that light, the Paramatma, is one and the same thing only. That's why Maharaj says, Man tu Jyot Sarup hai. So Man itself is the Jyot Sarup. So it is through Shabad that this happens. All the sufferings are removed when the mind knows and accepts itself as Atma Sarup. So these both are important. Mind has to know its real Sarup, its true form, and the mind has to accept it as well. When these three powers are removed because of wisdom, then there is no Maya left. That which is left is only Sat Chit Ananda. So the subtle body is formed because of mind, the memory, the intellect, and Ankar. So as discussed previously, these all together are called the subtle body, as well as separately, mind itself or the memory itself are called as subtle body as well. Now the mind is very close to Atma. It's like a thin veil, a very fine veil. It's described as like a wing of a fly, that how close it is, how clear it is. So this veil is of Agyanta, which is the lack of wisdom. As long as the mind considers itself as a sinner and this body, etc., until then it has not become the pure form of consciousness. When this veil of Maya, illusion, is removed, then the mind becomes that which is pure consciousness. Now, Sikh says to Guru that Maharaj, I have understood that ignorance, the lack of wisdom, is the cause of these three types of body. But I want to understand the secret of the subtle body and the physical body. What causes it? So Maharaj explains here about the Gyan senses. We can say like the senses from where we get the knowledge about the world. So the Gyan senses are the nose, eyes, skin, tongue, and ears. So we get this like information about the world and the activities of the body because of these five senses. Whatever is happening in our body as well, we come to know through this. And the action, the karam senses, they are the voice, the organ of speech, hands, feet, organ of generation, and the organ of excretion. There are 5 types of wind in the body, which is in Punjabi called like the Vayu. So there is a wind blowing inside us from head to toe, but it is the same wind, but based upon its location in the body, the different names are given. So one is pran, the breath, which is residing in the hirde. So here's a diagram about that too, that when we breathe, we say our pran. When the body dies, we say, oh, the breath has gone away. So this is where it is located. And the apan, that is in the excretory area. Vyan, that which is present in the whole body. Saman, that is in the navel area, that helps in the process of digestion and other functions. Udhan, in throat, due to which we speak. And then there is mind and intellect. So what is mind? Mind is the repository where all the thoughts are formed. That is mind. There are negative, positive thoughts. So all this combined is called as the mind. And what is the intellect? By which we make a decision based upon those thoughts in the mind. So a thought comes and the intellect says, oh, I've got to make a decision about it, or what's good or what's not. So that's what the function of intellect is. The decision whether to act on that thought or not is made by the intellect. So there are total 17, total number is 17 of these. And the subtle body is the combination of these 17. So Sikh asked Guru that there are 5 elements, but how did they become 17? Maharaj, please do kirpa and explain to me, because initially I thought there are 5 elements only. So Guru explains that how these elements are working in the body. Because we are in this body, it is best to understand at the body level. So when we speak and hear through ears, this is happening because of the space element. If there is no space, then we won't be able to speak or hear. So imagine your ears are actually blocked. There is no ear canal or there is no opening in the ears. We won't be able to hear anything. So the ears are knower of the Shabad, the word, and the organ of speech is the one that speaks the Shabad. So through the mouth, through the tongue, we are speaking. The skin and hands are formed because of the air element. The skin or the touch is the Gyan sense, which is how we get the knowledge. Example, when something hot or cold comes in contact with the skin, we get to know because of the sense of touch through the skin. So any movement in the body is due to the air. Guru says, know this well, that the function of skin and hands is to touch and they work together. The fire element is the cause of eyesight and the feet to move. So these work together. So when with the eyes we see something, then the feet go towards that thing. The knowledge is given by the eyes and the action is done by the feet. With eyes, we see a form, and whatever type of form we see, the same action is performed through the feet. The function of the tongue and the genitalia is to indulge in taste. These are formed from the water element. The tongue knows the different taste because of the different taste buds. And the genitalia, it eliminates water in the form of urine from the body. The excretory organ and nose are formed from the earth element. We smell through the nose, and from the excretory organs, we eliminate the waste products. So Maharaj explains again that the same one wind takes 5 forms. And the names different, like breath, energy, pran, all the different names we discussed, that is because of the different location in the body of the same wind. The excretory organ has the apan vayu, the wind, and hirde has the breath. Throat has the udanan vayu, the navel has saman. So this wind is located in all these different areas of the body. And just to know as well as a fun fact, the cause of pain or headache is due to the air element. When we get all these symptoms of pain, that is because of the air. So as we know, there are 3 elements, fire, air, and water. As per Ayurveda, the body gets diseased due to the imbalance in these 3 elements. If anyone has breathing issues, then they should do pranayama. So it is a practice of breath regulation. So how one can do is breathe in through one nostril and then hold the other nostril and breathe out. Most often we don't even know how to breathe properly. So when we practice this, actually it helps in eliminating a lot of illnesses from the body. So we all can practice this at some point. So Maharaj in Gurbani says, Pavan Guru Pani Pita Mata Tarta Mahatar. So the wind is the Guru, the water is father, and the earth is mother. And if one can balance these three elements, then a lot of illnesses can be eradicated. Now, because of the subtle form of the five elements, mind and intellect is formed. The senses of perception, which is the Gyan Indriya, it gives knowledge to the mind, and the action senses make the mind to act. So they all work together. So the total number of 17 came from five senses of knowledge, the perception, plus five senses of action, five types of wind in the body that is described, plus mind and intellect. So all this is combined as 17. So as described previously, that the body of Ishwar and Jeev is formed due to Karan Sarir. Karan Sarir is the causal body. Like, why is this body created? Because there was a cause behind it. Because we have Tamo and Rajogun more, we are called as Jeev. And because Ishwar has more of Satogun, that's the name given. So now, based upon our previous actions, the Jeev takes physical form to experience the results of it. So whatever the Jeev did it in the previous life, it takes the form of that so that he can experience the results of it. Now, if we still have any desire of experiencing anything in the mind, then that desire will be the cause of the next body in the next birth, because there is still some seed of desire left. The causal body is the cause of the subtle body. The subtle body becomes the cause of the physical body. Now, if one has desires like those of animals, then the next birth will be in animal body. But if it was like a human, then the next birth will be of a human. But this is very rare. Why is it rare? Because actually, whatever actions humans do, animals do the same. Like eating, creating homes, giving birth, sleeping. These are the things even animals are doing. So what is the difference? Mostly the mind has desires based upon these things only. Like we have desire of having a good life partner, better car, better home, or live a longer life. But if a human being has desire of Nam and Seva, but if he does not get Brahm Gyan, then the next birth will be of human, because the mind had more desire of Nam and Seva. And Maharaj does kirpa on that person and give him birth mostly in the house of a Gursikh. He creates environment for that person in a Gursikh's house, so he can actually fulfill that desire of Nam as well. So that's why it's very important to do all the worldly duties too, but to have the desire of Nam too. This doesn't mean not to do any of the work or the worldly things. It means to do it, but remain detached. And the only desire to have is of Nam. And whatever we do, we should surrender it to Guru. That Guru Maharaj, you're the one who's actually the doer of it. I'm not the one who's doing. Whatever it's happening, it's because of your kirpa. And this is how the Nam becomes firm. So Maharaj, may we do ardas to Maharaj that please bless us with Nam Simran, so we can practice Nam while remaining in this world. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.